What's up, people? SloMo back here with another video. This was a follow-up on Edge of Eternity, a Japanese RPG being developed by Midgar Studios. Edge of Eternity is still in early access on PC. The game is technically still in alpha form. They've released multiple episodes on PC for us gamers to play. So far, I'm still on the first episode, but Edge of Eternity will be available on Xbox and PlayStation 4 sometime later this year. Now, no release date has been given yet. In my previous video, it was announced to be coming to Game Pass, but since that time, I haven't seen anything that elaborates on that yet. So look out for that. If you're on the fence with this game, but you are a Game Pass subscriber, you can try this out without actually having to pay for the game. If it's something that you want to be invested in, you can give it a shot. See if you like it or not. Now, to my impressions on the game. The story is very engaging, but I have to admit it starts off a little too slow for me. You begin in this cave and you have your two characters. So far, your two main characters, they are Darion and his sister Selena. Darion's a former soldier and Selena is a priestess of some kind. She's basically a mage, and they're trying to find Selena's master, who might be able to help them save their mother. Now, it's a decent opening to the game, but with so little information being told and having you thrust into combat so soon, I think I would have appreciated a little more exposition, understanding of the world I'm getting into before getting into all of that. Now, yeah, there was an opening cutscene and there's information explained to you, but I think a better way of doing it would have been to actually have me see their mother and see what she's going through, and that would help me relate to the characters a little bit more and see why they're so desperate to be able to find Selena's master to try to help them through this. So kind of hearing that from the characters but not seeing it, I understand why that was done for budgetary reasons, but at the same time, the lack of effect is still there. The voice acting is decent when used. Not all dialogue is voiced. Mostly just the beginning of side quests and main story beats have voice acting, but it is pretty decent when it is used. There is a little bit of reading there when you talk to just random NPCs on the street or in various areas. That dialogue isn't voiced, but the dialogue is very good, so no real complaints there. There are a number of systems in play here. So there's this crystal system where you find crystals and you slot them into grids, and the crystals will give you better stats, such as increases in physical damage, magic defense, etc. And as with all RPGs, you have equipment to put on that can upgrade your stats as well. They also have newly learned magic and skills that can be equipped in the same manner, which is all pretty standard fare for RPGs, but it is implemented well here, and the interface is easy to understand, which I really appreciate. This world is really beautiful. It's a really nice looking world, yet also kind of empty at the same time. Now, don't get me wrong, the environment is very lush with tall grass and mountain ranges. There are animals running around and stuff, but it all just seems so very artificial in a way. It's hard to explain. You have these flowers and rocks that you have to break down for items, and they seem to be just randomly littered throughout the map, like with no rhyme or reason. They're just like someone just grabbed a bunch of them in their hand and just threw them across the map, and then just wherever they land, it's wherever they land, and that's just the way it looks. But again, it looks very pretty, very colorful in many ways, but just again cluttered yet empty at the same time, I guess. It does kind of make me wonder what Midgar could be able to accomplish with a bigger team. Because when I finally got to the first main town you get to, which is called New Harelsor, I'm probably saying that wrong, but I think it's Harelsor. But when you finally get to New Harelsor, it looks so much bigger than what I thought it would look. It looks way bigger than what you expect from a small studio. So it's just, these guys are really punching above their weight in regards to what they have accomplished with such a small team. Yet everywhere you go, you kind of see why certain areas aren't as littered, or not so much detail is put into, say, a staircase or certain areas or things like that. Combat. So let's get into the combat. Combat's very unique in how it incorporates Japanese RPG turn-based combat into a more Western approach to RPG combat, where positioning of your units is very important. So you'll find that if one of your party members is low on health, you can like move them further away from the enemies to protect them, or you could just start combat by moving Selena a little bit behind Darion. While she's way more effective at long range combat, she has a fire attack that can hit an enemy 2 spaces away, whereas Darion, all of his attacks are very much short range, so it's better to kind of put him in the front. He has a little bit more health than her. He can take more damage as well as deal more damage. So there's this strategy to it that you can actually incorporate, and you'll see the enemies do that too, where they get low on health or they are trying to protect themselves. They'll move further away from you, and then you'll have to move closer to them in order to bring them down. So there is that aspect to it that I really appreciate. You also see this mechanic in how they also do puzzles. So there are various puzzles, some of them that you actually have to do in order to get to a next area. There may be a gate that's locked and you have to engage in independently moving your characters to certain spots on the map in order to unlock those gates. And then there's the optional puzzles that can get you loot at the end of it if you complete it correctly. So I like that they incorporated that in more than just the combat, but in the open world as well. Overall, I think this is a good game. I think I really want to keep playing it, dive deeper into it, see more of how this story develops over time. I'm liking the 2 main characters, Darion and Selena. I kind of want to see more characters added to the party. I want to see more of how the story develops and more character interactions. Again, I'm still fairly early in the game, but I am enjoying it. But I do want people to understand what they're getting here with Edge of Eternity. This is a really good RPG, but it's not AAA. So when I say that, I'm saying that you're going to see clipping. You're going to see bad animations. You're going to see stiff running animations. You're going to see janky transitions into combat. These are the kind of things that you get from a game that doesn't have a lot of people involved in developing it the way you would see, say, Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example. And so without having those kind of resources, you end up seeing some things that aren't the greatest looking at the time. But again, this game is still in alpha, so there's opportunity to add more polish, get rid of some of the jank, clean up some of the animations. I mean, there's an unstuck button. I didn't get stuck in my time with it so far, but clearly people have, for them to need to add that to the alpha build. So yeah, it's got some things that need to be addressed before launch, and hopefully that's something that Midgar Studio is working hard at. I actually would have preferred they do more of that than adding more episodes. I always see on their Twitter where they're saying that they're working on the next installment, and I'm just like, let's kind of fix some of this stuff up. Let's kind of get some of these other issues out of the way before we move on to the next. But if they have the bandwidth to do that, so be it. But again, I would urge everyone interested in this title to temper their expectations, practice some patience, and just kind of know what you're getting into before you get it. Midgar Studio, again, as I said before, they're a small team, so there's only so much that can be addressed with this game, and a game that is actually so ambitious as this game is. But yeah, again, I'm going to keep playing Edge of Eternity as I'm just more and more invested in the story. And I'm probably going to do some streaming of it sometime in the future as well. So you guys let me know what you think of Edge of Eternity. Is this something you're currently going to be playing? Are you currently playing it? Or are you waiting for its console release? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't. It's all good. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos of Edge of Eternity in the future. Peace.